This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Right now on 1480 K-Rate, it's time for the Pro Show, featuring the only father and son sports talk show talking about the local sports scene as we take a look back and look ahead to upcoming events around our area. The Pro Show is on now, right here on 1480 K-Rate. It is time once again for the Pro Show, and I'm Larry Proietti, along with Nick Proietti. No guests today, and we'll get a chance to, chat with you. As a matter of fact, you can chat with us, 514-1071, 307-514-1071. And I guess we don't shake your head saying no. You know, once in a while we get a chance to call it open season here because, again, there's a lot to talk about. And some good, some bad, and I guess we'll start off with something like right in between. Ugly. Arizona Bowl. Wyoming Cowboys, which I predicted.
I was about to say I have no idea where you're going with your introduction to the show today, but again, yeah, we'll have plenty. We'll have plenty to talk about throughout today's show. Again, whether it is regarding the University of Wyoming. Again, also too, we'll talk NFL, MLB notes as well too happening. CU again with the big hire. We'll get into that with college football. But yes, we'll start with the Wyoming Cowboys, which again season has come to an end. Again, regular season comes to an end. Again, did not compete in that Mountain West Championship football contest. Again, Fresno State is your champions. Again, defeating Boise. Congrats to them.
Boise did not look good at all. I watched that game on Saturday.
Especially with the home turf advantage there at Albertson Stadium. Again, Boise has been unbeatable there in Boise, Idaho. But again, they were mortal over the weekend. And again, losing to Fresno State, the Bulldogs. So congrats to Fresno State. Again, your Mountain West Conference champions. But again, for the Wyoming Cowboys, again, their regular season has been ended for at least a couple of weeks now. Now set their sights for December 30th out in Tucson, Arizona, as it was officially announced that, again, they will compete at the Arizona Bowl. It was that or either the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, either or. Cowboys have been to both. They've been to the Arizona Bowl before, but now it is official that they will compete against the Ohio Bobcats, again, team that finished runner-up in the at least MAC championship, losing to Toledo. Again, it's a lower end bowl, bowl that's not being broadcasted on any national at least network. Again, it will be broadcasted through Barstool Sports at least online platform. So again, can't find it on ESPN, not going to find it on FS1, anything like that. It's going to be online.
Is that a pay-per-view type of situation?
I'm not entirely sure through Barstool. Again, it might be just purely free. Again, it's just through their website. So, again, not entirely sure. I don't think they would charge anyone to watch that bowl game. I would hope not, but I would highly doubt it. But, again, it's online only. So, at least you'll find it via that way. But, again, expected this match, or at least kind of a similar matchup. Again, Wyoming was going to take on some sort of MAC team, whether it was Bowling Green was kind of tossed out. Officially will be Ohio. Ohio coming into this contest, 9-4 overall. Again, losing in the MAC championship. But to break down this matchup, which right now, as it stands, again, we're weeks away from it. Ohio is favored by 1 point in the neutral site there at the University of Arizona in that stadium. But to look at the Bobcats, it kind of at least was curious about this team out of the MAC. You know, nothing too all impressive outside, again, picking up the 9 wins, just beating up on the subpar teams there in the MAC conference. You know, again, quality wins for the Bobcats of what I've seen so far, again, breaking it down, or at least teams that were above 500. And I'll toss out the Fordham one win just due to the fact that Fordham's, again, in an FCS level team. But, again, beating up Buffalo, Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio. Those are the only quality wins on their mark out of the at least 9 victories for Ohio of what I've seen here in 2022. And all 3 of those teams finished out the regular season 6-6 overall.
So you look at this matchup, which is going to be on December 30th in Tucson, Arizona. And right now, out of Cowboy camp, you just don't know what's going on. There seems to be some strife within the ranks. Well,
I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about the transfer portal, which again,
no,
we
I'm
could get
talking
into
about.
as
I'm
well.
talking about. There's some. I don't want to use the word anger, but there's some dissension a little bit in the ranks, especially when you dismiss Titus Swem from the squad.
And again, we don't have a full reasoning behind that decision. Again, it was very vague, kind of. That's what Wyoming kind of does. The athletic department does keep a lot of things very vague. And again, who knows if it's personal reasons, if it's family, or if it was, arguments. Who knows? Again, Titus Swain as well too. Did not play in that Fresno State game, or at least was kind of removed from it.
And
so,
you're talking about a kid that was having a great season rushing the football, Nick.
and right now for the Wyoming Cowboys, especially as you focus on the bowl contest there for the Arizona Bowl, they're down to basically bare numbers for running back right now.
Yeah.
They're basically begging someone to come on out and suit up for them.
And let's take a look at the Wyoming Cowboys offense. What do they bank on? Running. So
plain and simple, especially now where you're on a third string quarterback at this point in time, that now you're dealing with anyone who's available to be your running back. It's a bad situation upcoming, especially if your offense is relying on the ground game. Well, you really don't have one right now. It was gone, as that guy has now moved on from the program, or at least has been removed from the program. So, it's a bowl game. Congrats, you made a postseason play. Hopefully you win it. It doesn't move the needles, so to speak, but now it's kind of what's the future hold for the Wyoming Cowboys, especially for recruiting. And as we see, and I touched on a little bit, look at right now, transfer portal is heating up red hot for the Wyoming Cowboys, even though, again, Craig Bull has come out and said, hey, other teams have had transfers or at least commits entering that transfer portal. We're not the only one. But it seems like for the Wyoming Cowboys, it was, especially, again, over the weekend, they were coming out in droves saying, hey, I'm out. I'm moving on. And it's been a pattern. Granted, this transfer portal has existed, and yes, other colleges do, at least programs do deal with this situation. But for the Wyoming Cowboys, especially here in the Mountain West, it seems like they get kind of hit the hardest, or at least it seems like a lot of them, it kind of comes out all at once at a fell swoop, that name after big name as well, too, is saying adios to Laramie.
Well, do you get the suspicion, and this is just me, and again, I will sit here and be honest with the audience, not a Bull fan, and I will never be a Craig Bull fan, but do you get the suspicion now that a lot of teams don't want to play here at UW just with the current system that's in place?
Well, and again, we talked about this many a time, especially on the offensive side. Again, if you're a wide receiver, why the hell would you want to come here for your career? Your career is going to come to die in Wyoming.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, so again, for wide receivers, guess what? You're not getting 3-star or the hopeful 4. Again, you're probably looking at a 1-2, if at best, right now, a wide receiver to come on to Laramie to basically say, yes, I want to play here, or at least, have no other option, because, again, this is a team that is heavy on the ground. It's been like that since day one, or at least since outside of the Josh Allen, years with the Wyoming Cowboys. If you're a wide receiver, why would you want to come here at this point in time? Again, what has been different that this offense is going to move in that direction that, again, is going to get you some reception yards, or at least some TDs.
Well, the ironic part with the Wyoming Cowboys, they're pretty much similar to the Denver Broncos. Good defense. And again, with the young talent mixed in with the veteran talent, they kind of rose at many a game this year.
No.
Offensively, since the departure of Josh Allen and again that great group of wide receivers that he had, the offense is, enter Sean Chambers, you can go right down the list. And then you had Brent Vegan as the offensive coordinator. You got a new offensive coordinator in there.
Somehow Sean Chambers, though, finds success when he moves down a level to the FCS with Montana State, and again rejoins with, Brent Vegan.
Yeah.
What was the disconnect between his time in Laramie to, again, moving down to the Big Sky and now being part of Montana State that seems like a powerhouse, albeit, again, in a lower classification than the rest of the FBS. But, again, seems like that guy, as we've said that when he was a part of the Wyoming Cowboys, he's got talent. He's got the potential. He needs help. He needs help.
And he couldn't stay healthy. That was the problem.
Yeah.
So, I look at this Arizona Bowl, and again, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Folks here in this part of the world dig it that we're going to postseason play. It's on December 30th. Would you rather be in Tucson, Arizona on December 30th or Cheyenne, Wyoming, or the state of Wyoming on December 30th? I'd rather
you'll
be in
take the worth of Tucson without
and
that.
I've been down there a couple times for the old Copper Bowls, and it's 50-some degrees when you're playing at night, or when the sun goes down. But the point is, this is a bowl that is, again, for the young men. That's a great thing to be playing in postseason play. But this bowl does not do anything for the coffers at the University of Wyoming.
No.
Again, it's a $350,000 bowl. This is one of the lowest payout bowls. So again, cut in half to the Mountain West Conference, $175,000 right off the top. Then you got to take care of a lot of boosters. Okay? Then you got to get the team down. And it doesn't matter how many tickets we sell at Wildcat Stadium in Tucson. This is another losing proposition for the Wyoming Cowboys athletic department. They are not going to make any money out of this.
Yeah. Again, especially in this day and age where recruiting is so important, and again, we see that from top to bottom, again, various conferences. Again, is this something that's going to move the needle to say, okay, yeah, they're going postseason play, but again, it's
not national spotlight.
Yeah, it's not a national, at least televised game. Again, it's via, again, Barstool Sports Online, which, again, nothing against them. They put on a phenomenal product. I'll give them that. But again, it's something that for the older folks here across the state, which, again, there are plenty of, again, Cowboy fans that, again, going to have a little difficulty potentially trying to find where this game is, where, again, you just go on the old tube and there it is, tune into ESPN or FS1 or, again, the various sites. So, again, it's something that in this day and age of plentiful bowls, which there are, this is another one of kind of the, and again, I'll use the term, it's crap. It's pretty much of, you got two teams that years ago probably did not deserve to be postseason bound. Again, even though, again, with give credit to Ohio as much as I don't want to. Again, they finished 9-4, so they beat the teams that they were supposed to. But again, out of those 9 victories, 3 of them were against teams that finished 500 best. That was it. And the rest of them were sub 500 in the MAC, and again, their losses as well too. Again, the only outside of MAC win for Ohio was Fordham, which again is an FCS team.
This is the mediocre bowl,
pretty much.
I mean, again, I'm looking at some numbers here. You got Peasley, who will be back, obviously, and I think he played a little bit against Fresno. Peasley has thrown this year, so we're talking through 12 games, and he was out one, played a little bit of another one. He's only thrown for 1,300 yards. I mean, do the math, gang. That's a little over, 120-some yards a game that he threw for. You have Swem, who's gone, who rushed for 1,039 yards, missing the last game. So through 11 games, Swem was almost at 100 yards per game. You got Joshua Cobb, the leading receiver, at 407 yards. Yeah. Divide that by 12, that's what, 37 yards, 38 yards a game receiving? And he's the top target. Hoyland has been, I guess you would probably say the bright star offensively for the Wyoming Cowboys. His foot has been almost money. And you just sit here and you look at the numbers, and I always like to play the numbers game. First and foremost, you said Ohio's, a 1-point favorite?
Yeah.
I really don't care who wins. I really don't care. If the Cowboys win, great, terrific. Hey, Craig Bowl, lift them on your shoulders and have them on board for another season. But when is the University of Wyoming athletic department going to say enough's enough? And again, going to a mediocre bowl, playing a mediocre team with your mediocre record, I mean, I guess if that's the way we're going to portray the Wyoming Cowboys, then, hey, then everybody's excited. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, again, if you're happy with mediocre, and again, I will stress this with Craig Bowl, and again, we've both been that outcrier for many a season saying, hey, This guy,
Time has come and gone.
yeah, again, he has not proven himself yet to win, again, Mountain West Conference Championship, to move that needle, to move this program in a different direction where, again, yes, it is becoming a winning nature, but again, in this day and age where it is, bowl games are plentiful, that, again, we're talking 80-plus teams out of 120-something in FBS are going postseason bound. It's watered down, plain and simple, and it's something that, again, in my eyes, it's concerning for the Wyoming Cowboy football program that you look around the Mountain West, look at the teams that right now are, and again, this is encompassing NCAA and the FBS as a whole right now, where, again, we're moving to these super conferences, we're moving to conference realignment. It's happening. We got teams even just down the road to CSU, but again, you look at San Diego State, you look at Boise, you look at Fresno, you look at CSU, you look at a lot of names right now within this conference that are saying, I don't care about being part of the Mountain West Conference. I'm committing to go to the Pac-12. For CSU, they want to go to a Power 5, at least conference. They're
not going to get there.
They're not going to get there, but they said, hey, we got the facilities. We're upgrading our programs around us to at least shift us into that new direction, where the Wyoming Cowboys right now are kind of staying pat of, okay, we're finishing above 500, even though, again, Craig Bowl in both the overall and conference as of right now, since 2014, is still sub 500 in both of those categories.
Well, here's the deal, too, Nick. As you mentioned, Fresno State, San Diego State, perennial teams that are going to be near the top of the Western Conference, right? Boise State. So there's on the mountainside. There's 3 teams there. Now, Air Force would probably be still part of, still would be a member of the Mountain West. But
if the Mountain West,
they could go independent if they want.
Again, that could be easily a possibility. Again, who knows what the Mountain West Conference, if at all, if it still exists here in the next 5 years, what it's going to look like and what teams kind of join within. Again, do you see a couple Big Sky teams shift on up? Do you see a North Dakota State that is, again, a winning program down in the FCS level go, hey, let's step on up and see what we can do? Again,
why not UNC?
Yeah, again, well, again, Northern Colorado's got a lot of issues. But yeah, without a doubt, again, the Mountain West Conference could be a little desperate of losing these teams, going, all right, who's going to fill the void here? It's similar of what they did a couple seasons, or at least, again, a while ago, but again, absorbing those WAC teams, again, bringing in Nevada, bringing in Fresno, bringing in Utah State, again, teams that were part of the old WAC conference when that dissolved. It's something of, it's concerning that we have other programs in this conference that are saying, hey, we don't care. We're going to be a part of that Power 5, or we're going to join some of those super conferences and forget you, Mountain West Conference. We're trying to improve us. For Wyoming right now, they're kind of standing pat saying, hey, we're happy where we are. We're just proud that we're finally making it to bowl games, and we're not concerned about the future. I think that's how I take it right now, especially with Craig Bowl, that, hey, at least we're going to the Arizona Bowl instead of sitting home. Whoop-de-doo at this point in time, where, again, the rest of the Mountain West Conference, and I would say the rest of the Mountain Conference outside, again, of New Mexico, outside of Hawaii, a few to at least name.
UNLV.
Well, and again, that's where I pause. UNLV. Look at the rumors right now swirling out of Las Vegas, especially where, again, they do play at Allegiant Stadium, home to the Las Vegas Raiders. Coach O, Ed Orgeron, has been rumored to become the new head coach. Again, former head coach of LSU, who's won a national championship, has been rumored to head out to Sin City to go coach for the UNLV Running Rebels. That would be huge for that program, would be huge for the Mountain West Conference. But UNLV's kind of looking towards the future of, hey, we got this beautiful $1 billion stadium that can recruit. Again, we live in Las Vegas, that is now becoming a sports mecca. Why not UNLV move on to the next level, or at least get out of the Mountain West Conference, join the Pac-12 or something like that?
They got to start winning. That's the bottom line.
Hey, if they get a Coach O, I think that's going to be huge.
And the same thing here, too. Yeah. You look at UW, and again, whether Craig Bowles back for another season or not, who cares? In my opinion. But if he's not back, there are a lot of young offensive coordinators out there. And, again, I think you go offensive coordinator. But, again, where they can pay the Craig Bowl money, okay? Let's just throw that. I think the one thing that kind of hurts a little bit, UW, is that you can pay the coach a decent wage, or decent salary.
Yeah.
I think it's the amount of assistants that we have these days. Oh my goodness! But I think that's a lot of the stumbling blocks sometimes to get a good coach in here, is that you don't have a lot of extra scratch for your assistants. I mean, again, you're looking at a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, you got special teams, you got wide receivers, running backs, quarterback coach. I mean, I'm just
but again, the head coach is the one who's making the end decision, or again saying, "Hey, this is how I want my team to run."
How much budget does he have? That's your question.
That's up to the University of Wyoming. Again, Tom Bourbon and that athletic department, which, again, you think should be bringing in some sort of revenue or at least some sort of money to pay, again, whatever low-end coordinator that they need to bring in, again, from top to bottom, offensive coordinator all the way on down to strength and training coach. Again, with the TV money, with the conference money, that, again, should be well off, should be pretty well off to make sure that we have the best, or at least if what Craig Bull wants to bring in, they got that money to bring that whatever assistant in.
And again, we have not been really fortunate. And I go back to the Joe Tiller years. After Joe Tiller came in, Dana Dimmel, Vic Koenig. You throw out other names like Joe Glenn, Dave Christensen, and now Craig Bull. And again, I've seen a lot of coaches march down those sidelines in my 36 years here. But the thing is, has this gone on long enough? That's the question for Cowboy fans.
I think so, at least for me personally. And again, for Cowboy Nation. Now, again, what you see online probably is not. Who knows if it's a vocal minority or, again, if it is a majority. Again, most of the time, if you have something negative, you're going to post it online, which, again, you see more and more often right now on those Twitter threads or, again, on Facebook, whatever it may be. But, again, for me, who is not, again, a UW alum, not a diehard Cowboy fan by far, but, again, I watch this team, and, again, I show concern of, again, what the future holds for Laramie, for the University of Wyoming, for Cowboy football. This has to be a breaking point at a point in time where, again, this season, I think for the Cowboys, we're fortunate that the Mountain West Conference in whole was down. Because if you toss, and again, let's toss out some of these teams. Again, Air Force. I think the Air Force victory was kind of felt a little fluky. If Utah State was up, if Hawaii was up as they've been in years past.
Hawaii was down this year. Utah State was down.
Yeah.
New Mexico has just been floundering. Let's see.
CSU still can't figure out things.
CSU is definitely behind the eight ball right now. So you have four teams.
And give credit again, CSU. Again, barely lost that game. That was a competitive contest against a team, or again, a program that has just been in disarray for many years.
Now, Air Force, I'll say, is a quality win because Air Force was expected to win. So I will give the Cowboys that. They lost to San Jose State. San Jose State has been slowly building. But, again,
quality wins for the Cowboys right now are, again, Air Force. And I would toss out Tulsa, and that's about it. That's about it on that record right now for the Wyoming Cowboys. And again, I think it shows due to the bowl committee that you're taking on an Ohio team that's similar to an extent to it's a team that, again, beat up on the teams that you were supposed to, and congrats, you were bowl eligible, and here you go, you playing a dead end bowl on December 30th. Whoop-de-doo. Right now for the University of Wyoming, like I said, for Craig Bull, you're fortunate that you're bowl bound this season, where, again, if this Mountain West Conference was what it's been in the past couple seasons, go even past out of the pandemic, I don't think they would be bowl bound right now. Again, if Utah State was up, if Hawaii was up, it's something that they got fortunate. They were picked dead last, and they took advantage of a down and out conference this year, plain and simple.
Well, and again, I do tip my cap to the defensive unit of the Wyoming Cowboys. The offensive line for the Cowboys was pretty doggone good. Again, when you got a 1,000-yard rusher in Titus Swim, and again, Titus Swim was a unique runner as well. But again, that offensive line was a pretty good group for the Cowboys. The rest of the offense, though, was It was almost like you drew it in on the sidelines. I mean, that's the way that offense was this year. But, going back to the Mountain West Conference, and I want to say this about Fresno State. And this goes back to what we've always said, Nick. It's not how you play August, September. It's how you're performing in November leading into December. And the Fresno State Bulldogs were hurt.
Yeah.
They got healthy at the right time. And against Boise. And I actually thought Boise, especially on the Smurf turf, was going to win. But Fresno State looked pretty dominating against the Broncos on Saturday. So I feel pretty good about Fresno State moving on in the bowl season. Boise, I guess, got the Frisco Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
I do believe so.
So they're going to go there, and they're kind of limping into that Frisco Bowl. Let's see who else.
You got Air Force. Air Force is taking on Baylor. That is the Armed Forces Bowl.
And forget it. Baylor's going to, even though Baylor's down this year, I still think Baylor's better. Again, the Mountain West Conference is not a good football conference, like you said, this year. Heck, Craig Thompson's stepping down, so kind of maybe he sees something that we don't see either, that we don't see.
Well, and again, looking at least trying to pull up right now, again, bowl schedule for at least for the Mountain West Conference. Again, at least we do know, at least want to get at least the full details, again, who is facing off with who. Just give me 1 second here. Again, trying to pull it up on the various sites, but not at least finding any luck. But again, we do know Air Force moving on. For whatever reason, I can't find it here. Again, ESPN, once again,
Air Force has
terrible website.
They're at the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl.
I knew that, and again, they're taking on Baylor.
Let's see. San Diego State will take on Middle Tennessee at the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. That will be Christmas Eve.
Okay, yeah.
And that's usually Hawaii. That's at the Hawaii Bowl.
Yeah, I got it here. So, again, we'll start in order right now. December 17th, Fresno State taking on Washington State. That is at SoFi Stadium. That's the Jimmy Kimmel L.A. Bowl. But, again, Fresno State taking on a Pac-12 at least school, so stepping up outside, again, taking on a Power 5, so give credit to them. Boise State, they'll be taking on North Texas in the Frisco Bowl. That is in Frisco, Texas at the Toyota Stadium. That is also to December 17th. So, again, Boise State playing down a level. They should beat North Texas on that one. San Jose State, December 20th, will be taking on Eastern Michigan. That is at the Potato Bowl in Boise, Idaho. So, again, taking on a MAC team. Whatever.
Yeah, but remember, though, San Jose State beat the Cowboys. So I think they obviously deserve a little better paying bowl than the Cowboys, wouldn't you think?
Which, again, I guess is going to be the Potato Bowl at that point. So, again, doesn't really move the needle for the Mountain West Conference. Again, give credit to Fresno State, again, who did win the Mountain West Conference Championship, will be taking on a Pac-12 school. Air Force getting a nod to take on a Big 12 team, again, even though it is a down, at least Baylor team, but it is still the Baylor Bears out of the Big 12, who, again, have been competitive, have been at least kind of a consistent football program, even with losing Matt Rule a couple of years ago. But, again, Armed Forces Bowl, that's happening in Fort Worth, Texas there. Again, home of TCU. So, again, that should be an exciting one. Middle Tennessee State taking on San Diego State. That is a part of the Hawaii Bowl. As you mentioned, that's December, at least Christmas Eve, happening out in Honolulu. Utah State taking on Memphis. That is a part of the First Responder Bowl. That is in Dallas, Texas. And then last but not least, again, the final Mountain West team is Wyoming taking on Ohio December 30th, part of the Arizona Bowl. So that's how it sizes up. So, again, you got two teams, at least Air Force and Fresno State, getting the nod to challenge themselves to take on Big 12 and Pac-12 teams, albeit, again, it's not the clear powerhouses. Again, no Mountain West team is going to win any of those matchups. But, again, at least it's something to bring notoriety to the Bulldogs, bring notoriety to the Falcons of, hey, if you could beat Baylor, if you can beat Washington State, all right, I give you respect for a mid-major conference to take on a representative out of the Power 5.
Look, and again, too, a couple of bowls that used to be part of the Mountain West. Look at the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl.
Yeah, that was gone a long time ago.
Yeah, but Florida versus Oregon State. Would you rather have that matchup than somebody from the Mountain West Conference?
Well, yeah, especially if you're going to play that bowl game in Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, and how about New Mexico Bowl? And in Albuquerque, again, that's the place.
Yeah, New Mexico got rid of it. Got tied.
SMU versus BYU. BYU beat the Cowboys as well too. So again, you got SMU, the Mustangs, who have slowly built that program. That's not great, but it's a better bowl. And the Cowboys,
Which is weird to say for the New Mexico Bowl, which again years ago was the dead last. Again, if you made it there, you sneaked in.
It's paying over 7 figures now. Same with the Las Vegas Bowl. The Las Vegas Bowl, when it was with the Mountain West Conference, I think that was $1.75 million bowl.
Well, again, Las Vegas Bowl back in the day was for that Mountain West go-getter, that top team again, who again won the championship or finished again number one in the conference. Got that nod to go there. But again, that tie dissolved over the past couple seasons, so it is what it is. But again, at least for the Mountain West Conference, you got 6 teams in. If I did my math correct, again, 6 teams in. 2 of them are taking on Power 5 teams or, again, representatives out of Power 5 conferences, and that's about it. The rest of the bowl matchups, it's just mid-major versus mid-major. And, again, what does that do for recruits? What does it do for the Mountain West Conference in general to bring attractiveness to, again, potential, talent to, again, these various schools? Not a whole hell of a lot.
Well, and they should rename that Barstool Bowl in Arizona to the Snowbirds Bowl, because that's about all you're going to attract at that thing are the snowbirds out of Wyoming. Again, you get a chance to get out of state into a warmer climate for a couple 3 days. The game itself, who cares? I mean, think about it. Who really cares about this game? Obviously, the Cowboys do. The Cowboys looking for their
deep, passionate fans on both sides care about it. But again, for a majority of the fan base, and I would say again for majority of the Wyoming Cowboy fans, is this moving the needle for you?
No.
Is this getting you excited to buy season tickets for 2023? Not really.
Unless you see who's on the schedule for next season, that's about it.
Yeah, but even though, again, with the transfers that we got coming out, again, what you had this season, that's going to move forward again. Craig Bull has proven that, again, he's a 500 coach at best. He's not going to win you a Mountain West Conference championship. He's going to get you postseason bound, but again, it's to Boise. It's to Tucson. And just repeat, rinse and repeat.
Well, and you look at what Craig Bull has done. He's brought in. Now, the transfer portal has done some good things, especially for UW, where, there was always that cry out of, how come we don't have any JC players? Well, the transfer portal kind of is that JC line now. I know they're transferring from SC or whatever the case may be. But, again, Craig Bull has remained steadfast on getting freshman talent into UW and then building them through their 4 or 5 years with the program. But, again, he has not gone into that quick fix mode of looking at JC, where they come in as juniors, that type of deal. But again, he's depending on the transfer portal,
which is surprising, just due to the fact that, again, look at what you got with, again, Josh Allen. He was a JC guy that came in that no one wanted.
No, he was freshman.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
He was a transfer, but okay.
But he came in as a freshman. He got hurt, and I think he left after his junior year. That's it. He played his junior year because he graduated. Because when he lost that 1 year when he was injured, he got a chance to get his degree. So he left as a junior. You can look all that up. But, the thing is, though, with the Wyoming Cowboys, and again.
Look at that. Reedley College, again, played there for 1 season. Transferred.
Okay. So
again, he was a JC, player. Transferred. So, again, I don't know what you're trying to argue me. Again, I was correct.
Okay.
So, again.
You're right.
Again, why wouldn't you, and that kind of bolsters my point, where, again, you found a superstar talent, once-in-a-lifetime talent with Josh Allen, again, coming in out of JC to, again, play in Division I. Why not take that chance again?
And again, too, on the left coast, let's look at the left coast. And again, I know we need to take a break, but on the left coast, you have a lot of JC programs and good football, a lot of throwing programs. Again, a lot of that West Coast offense type programs. Why we don't dip into that, I don't know. Again, I don't think Craig Bull likes quick fixes. He wants to build it from the foundation up. And what we have seen under his direction, mediocrity. That's all.
Yeah, so, and again, we're very quickly, if you're competing against not even just the Mountain West Conference, which, again, is already tough to at least get some top-level talent, again, due to the fact that, again, Boise, again, who wouldn't want to go to Boise where, again, it seems like they're going to be the powerhouse year in and year out, or at least they're the favorites year in and year out to be at top of the Mountain West Conference. Again, they've kind of proven that. Again, Air Force started to get up there, Fresno, San Diego State. Again, you also, too, have, again, a lot of these programs that have brand-new facilities. brand new head coaches that are wanting to join Power 5 conferences as we get into this realignment time now, again, moving forward. Again, but UNLV, if they pick up Coach O, how huge is that going to be for that program in Las Vegas, where, again, how many recruits are going to find the attractiveness to go to Las Vegas compared to Laramie, Wyoming?
But also, too, as you mentioned here with the Mountain West Conference, Boise State has been, since they've joined the conference, that's the team to beat. If you want to be a top-level team, you have to be right up there with Boise State. In the old WAC, Western Athletic Conference, it was Utah and BYU. So BYU basically carried the flag all the time for the WAC.
And look at where Utah is right now, again, winning the Pac-12 championship.
And where's BYU? They're
having
still
fine success, as an independent. Yeah.
So they've been doing okay since they've left the Mountain West. So again, or the WAC, the point is the Cowboys have not been able to ascend to top dog level yet. They've been middle of the pack,
and I don't think they
best.
I don't think they ever will, especially under just again. I think the entity, and again, I'm going to put the blame on the guy.
The direction
is Craig Bull.
Yeah.
I think plain and simple. Again, he's the guy that's holding this program back. Again, we're 500. That's it. That's what you come to expect. 500 in the Arizona Bowl. Congrats.
And again, like I said, if you just want so-so, you got it with that coach. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more right here on 1480 K-Ray.
1480 K-Ray is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. To hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 K-Ray features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 K-Ray, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480kray.com.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
The next time you have a craving for authentic Mexican cuisine, visit Guadalajara at 1745 Del Range Boulevard. Locally owned and operated, they serve their dishes with family tried and true recipes, with the freshest of ingredients, made to order. Start off your meal with their complimentary chips, salsa, and bean dip. And if you're feeling adventurous, enjoy your favorite margarita or cerveza. Guadalajara, where the spice is always nice.
Town & Country Supermarket Liquors has just what you're looking for this holiday season. See our amazing whiskey collection and pick up the perfect wines for those special celebrations. For a unique gift, don't miss our custom-made gift baskets and branded gift sets. Happy holidays from all of us at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. We'd like to express our sincere gratitude for your business this year and want to wish everyone a wonderful holiday season.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Well, the wise for today's sunshine and breezy. Expect the daytime high near 40 degrees. Partly cloudy for tonight, low down to 20. Mostly sunny again for tomorrow. We're calling for a daytime high near 40. And for Wednesday night, a mostly cloudy night, a low down to 20 degrees. More college football notes as we will take that up to the top of the hour and get a feel, you, Nick, get a feel from you on how you like the Final Four for college football. And you mentioned Utah. where Utah cost SC.
Blade spoiler without a doubt. Yeah.
You're talking about costing them a few $1,000,000.
Yeah.
Because I think the Trojans would have been probably that number 14.
Well, they were projected again, to be one of the Final Four to compete in that college football playoff. Got upset by Utah in the Pac-12 championship. But here's an interesting argument regarding those teams that are fighting for that college football playoff, which again we now know will be expanded. I do believe in 2024 to I do believe it was announced to 12 teams. That again, you kind of feel for those teams that have to play that extra game. Granted, most of them in those Power 5 do have to move on to that, again, take on, again, a conference opponent. But, again, you look at, what could have been the scenario for an Alabama or an Ohio State that was on the outside looking in who didn't have to compete for Big Ten or an SEC championship.
And Ohio State would have been they definitely would have been bumped out by SC if they had won.
But it's something that, and it's something. It would be more so again if there was a mid-major team fighting for, again, whether it was the TCU or the Utah of old, again, a part of the Mountain West Conference, where again they were in that mixture again in the 2000s of trying to get into that at least national title picture. Again, Boise State as well too. Again, it's more so for those teams. But again, you hate the fact that, again, you punish an SC team that, again, had to play one more extra game, albeit, again, yes, it's for that Pac-12 championship, but, again, you had to play one extra game
but
to
the
kind
Horned
of
Frogs
prove
did too, though, Nick, and they lost in overtime, and they didn't get punished. So you kind of tip your cap a little bit.
Same with Michigan, as well, too.
Yeah, you tip your cap to the bowl committee for not punishing TCU, because that was a hell of a game against the Wildcats. And again, too, terrible decision by the coach. But, that's here nor there. But they luckily hung on to get in. Now, you look at the 4 teams. Georgia.
Deserves, again, Georgia, who has been
Michigan.
Picked to, again, win the championship. Yeah, Michigan.
And I'll tell you this, Harbaugh's gone after this season. He's back in the pros. He's got
we'll again, we'll see. Again, will this
it.
For instance, again, as we talked about it last week, again, if the Denver job becomes open, does Harbaugh, or at least does the Walton family, does, again, that organization, or again, any NFL organization, come out to Jim Harbaugh and go, hey, we want you back? I think he takes a serious consideration. I think what would help it more the case of Jim Harbaugh leaving the Wolverines is if he wins the national title. Kind of ends that run, or at least the reason why he went back down. Again, going back to his alma mater, if he wins the national title, I think the case is a little bit better that he does leave and move up.
And he has to win it with this team this year because he's got the veterans.
Yeah.
And they look good. I mean, again, Purdue, through the halftime, it was like, it was an okay game. But in the second half, they just died.
They basically beat the hell out of Ohio State in that rivalry game.
But, again, with Michigan, in my opinion, I think Harbaugh obviously has his sights. I mean, he could write his own ticket.
His sights right now are on a national title.
But he could write his own ticket, whether he wants to stay at Michigan or go back to the pros. And I think he's going to probably do the pro thing. But, again, you look at the lineup, Georgia gets Ohio State. Adios, Buckeyes.
Ohio State has
Georgia's the real deal. They are top to bottom good offensively, defensively. Michigan has some chinks in defensively.
And the funny thing is, well, too, in that Georgia-Ohio State game, as much as the Buckeyes are, again, vying for a national title, which, again, I don't think they deserve, again, they have not looked good, or at least, again, they look pathetic against Michigan. So, again, I don't think they'll be at all competitive against the Bulldogs. But you are starting to see that, again, a few Ohio State recruits, or at least players right now, are basically saying, hey, don't care. It's a college at least football playoff. I'm not playing.
But
I'm more focused on the NFL draft.
Their schedule strength was a lot better than Alabama's.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I'm just saying, again, the beautiful irony, especially if we look at that Georgia-Ohio State game, you're already starting to see Buckeye players right now, again, big-time playmakers basically step away and go, I'm not playing. I don't care. I'm looking forward to, again, I'm committing to the NFL draft.
Yeah.
No, I'm not supporting my team. So, again, the beautiful irony on that one where, again, you're vying for a national title. Sorry, you don't have a prayer, Ohio State, but, again, you got to love that teammates, quote-unquote, are basically turning your backs when, again, you need them the most to take down, again, the powerhouse team, again, the overwhelming favorite that is Ohio, or at least, with the Georgia Bulldogs. But, it is what it is. But again,
and I think the way it should go, according to Hoyle, should be Georgia and Michigan for the national championship, 1 versus 2. Again, TCU
is going to be scrappy.
They're going to be scrappy, but Michigan.
I think Michigan overall is better.
Yeah, Michigan can outscore you. That's the deal. Michigan will give up points, and they'll do that against Georgia. Georgia's going to have to find a way to stop Michigan. And I don't know if they can. And again, we know Harbaugh from the 49er days. We know how he was as a player. Jim Harbaugh he's a guy that gives you, he's going to give you the full 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to drop something on at halftime, to stop this offense. This offense is pretty damn good. So again, I like I said, I like the Georgia-Michigan matchup. If TCU pulls a shocker, I would be like, you got to be kidding me.
I wouldn't be
Ohio
that
State.
surprised.
Ohio State, I think, is going to be
TCU has talent. Do I think they win and beat the Wolverines? No, I don't think so. But I think of your 2 college football playoff matchups, that one's going to be more, at least the closer contest compared to Ohio State and Georgia, without a doubt. Again, TCU has a shot, but I think, Michigan is the overwhelming favorite in that game too. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised it is Georgia-Michigan. If it is to be that scenario, again, for the national title game, you still kind of give the nod to Georgia. Georgia has just proven that they've proven and shown that who is beating that team.
Well, in college football this year, if there's top 5 quarterbacks, I'll go top 10. Top 10 quarterbacks, you got at least 3 of them vying for a national championship.
TCU, with TCU, with Michigan and Georgia. Yeah,
there you go. And then the Ohio State QB. Okay, I mean he's great. Don't get me wrong, he's great.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't match up to the top 3. So I do like the setup this year for the Final Four.
You got again, thankfully for the NCAA, again you got some fresh blood in there. Again, TCU. Again, same with at least now. Again, Michigan. You no longer get to see as much as, again, yes, it is Ohio State, as much, yes, again, it is Georgia. But at least, again, TCU is kind of that new face entity in there. Thankfully, no Alabama as a repeat. So, again, they were on the outside looking. Yeah, Clemson. So, again, at least you got some change. It's not much, but, again, it's not Alabama, thankfully. So, it's going to be something a little different. Again, Georgia, should they win another national championship? Yeah, I think they could.
Well,
I think they should.
And it's interesting. You only have one team out of the South, which is Georgia. Usually in that conversation, you would have Alabama. You would have Oklahoma in that conversation as well, too.
Well, that's a tough thing with the SEC where, again, you had Alabama that was anticipated to be there. Georgia anticipated to be there.
Obviously, TCU out of Texas.
Tennessee was an outside looking in, especially what the Vols were doing early on. But TCU coming out of Texas. TCU was not the Texas team that everyone was thinking it was going to be at least in the college football playoff. Again, everyone was high on the Longhorns, and they proved that they're still.
But how about the Pac-12? That used to be a dominating conference. Look at that. They don't even
Pac-12 has not been relevant in quite some time.
They don't even get invited to the dance.
Yeah. Again, USC is your team that is the outside looking in to get in that college football playoff, and they certainly were again this season. Again, the one loss to Utah really helped, at least really hurt them. And again, the Pac-12 conference. It's not the Pac-12 as it was when USC was in national championships.
And Oregon is not
winning.
The powerhouse.
Oregon as well too, who was competing for a national championship. Again, programs in the Pac-12 have definitely dipped down, similar to the Mountain West Conference. Of yes, it's again it's a Power 5, but on any given Saturday, I'll take a Big Ten team over Pac-12. I'll take an SEC team, an ACC team over the Pac-12. Again, Pac-12 is certainly kind of taking those steps back.
Speaking of the Pac-12. New face in the Pac-12. And again, where that conference goes, I don't know. And again, too, I think it's the right career move.
Well, yeah, especially for
CU.
Well, yeah. And again,
and Deion Sanders.
Yeah, again, you mentioned with at least the up in the airness right now with Pac-12, where, again, you're going to lose USC, you're going to lose UCLA. It looks like you're gaining San Diego State. It looks like you're gaining Fresno State out of the Mountain West Conference. But, again, the big news coming out of Boulder, again, just down the road with the CU Buffs, and I think this is a hell of a hire. And I think
this is
I think CU immediately vaults himself up to, again, not so much championship national title contenders, but they're going to get eyeballs. They're going to get they're going to get votes.
They're going to get butts in seats
This is
now,
something
too.
that CU immediately got respect as soon as they hired on Deion Sanders, who again spent again the past couple seasons with Jackson State down there.
23-2.
Yeah, so again, he was phenomenal down there to revitalize that program. Got some big recruits. Again, we talk about the 5-star recruits that were going on down to play at Jackson State University, go compete down there in the FCS level. I think for CU, huge. This is immediately makes them a contender. And I think, again, moving into 2023, I think CU, watch out for that team. They're going to be in the conversation to compete in that college football playoff, especially just the fact, again, what the namesake of Deion Sanders brings to the table. Again, look at already right now.
And
again,
the transfer portal.
Yeah, again, look at already, again, the recruits that are committed to go to Boulder just because Deion Sanders said, hey, I'm that new head coach out here for the CU Buffs. This, again, give credit to that athletic department. Give credit to them taking that chance on Deion Sanders and move him on up to the FBS level, to the Pac-12, to coach for the Buffaloes. Like I said, 2023, I don't think this is give them a couple years to develop. I think this immediately makes CU a contender, that CU is now going to be the powerhouse football program here in the Rocky Mountain region.
Well, and again, too, and I'm glad you kind of tapered that back by giving them a couple seasons. You are going to see a coach moving from FBS to FCS, where we have not seen that from Craig Bowl yet. But you will see an immediate impact with the Buffs program, just simply for the fact, again, too, look at the numbers. I know it's FBS, but look at the numbers that Jackson State has put up over the years.
You mean FCS, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get confused. But my point is, Deion Sanders, again, like I said, you bring prime time in. Here's a guy that's two-sport athlete. Here's a guy that's got Super Bowl rings. Here's a guy who actually patrolled the sidelines and brought wins to programs that were, and Jackson State was until he came on board. So, as you say, first off, in Boulder, what he's going to do is bring more. He's going to pack the place. The butts are going to come back to the seats.
Oh, yeah. I think for season tickets, you're going to see an immediate spike. You're going to see ticket prices out there in Boulder
You're going to see a waiting
go
list.
high. That absolutely, again, at minimum for the 2023 season, again, with the hype that is already seen right now in the past couple of days of the announcement, Folsom Field should be sold out at least, at minimum, for every single home contest for CU going forward, again, in 2023. Again, I think this team is contenders immediately for the Pac-12 championship. I think this is a team, especially where, again, you're already starting to see the 5-star recruits come on into Boulder and say, yeah, I'm coming, again, I'm coming and I'm committing to Coach Deion Sanders to the CSU, at least CU Buffs. Right now, this team, like I said, don't give them a year or two. I think this is an immediate move that CU has committed, saying we want to win and we want to win now. And they're going to. And I believe so with Coach Prime, I should say. Again, making that at least move on up to the FBS level again, just down the road in Boulder, Colorado. So again, exciting times where CU, they're far from removed their lone championship again. What was that, back in the mid-90s? It's been a program ever since that has been, again, if not bad. They've had some pretty rough seasons over the past couple of years.
Yeah, over the last decade.
They've kind of been a joke and a laughing stock of the Pac-12.
Here's the deal, too. Again, with the Buffs. Again, as we look to the Power Fives, Buffs kind of sealing the deal for them.
This definitely opened up a lot of eyes across the nation, again, for eyes of, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgias of the world, that respect this move, anticipate that some big names, which have already committed, are going to flock to Boulder, Colorado to go play down there at Folsom Field. If I make an early, and we're talking early prediction, I say CU, without even seeing the recruit class, see who continues to join this team, who leaves the team, who knows with the transfer portal. I'm saying early prediction, CU is your Pac-12 champion next year. then I think CU
No,
is
no,
a
no,
team
no,
that
no.
is an outside looking in to the college football playoff.
No,
I think Deion Sanders has that enough to again move that needle for that program to get him into relevancy immediately.
I like your thought process. They first got to get to 500.
I think Deion Sanders comes in a great time with the NIL as well to establish in NCAA where, again, look at what he has done, especially on social media where, again, he is a huge presence, whether it is, again, he's partnered with Barstool. Again, he's big on Instagram with Twitter, all that good stuff. Again, he's going to put his name out there. He's going to put that notoriety. And, again, those teenagers or, again, those high-end recruits or, again, those in the transfer portal are going to look and go, I want to join this guy. I want to bring my talent.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but it's not a fix to go from 0 to 10. It's not going to.
I think he's the guy. I think he's that once in a generation type of coach that can do it for that.
I think Colorado will become relevant next year. They'll be bowl bound next year. Will they get 6 wins? Absolutely. I do believe they'll get 6 wins. Dependent on what the Pac-12 looks like, they still got teams that they got to climb over, and I
think they will. I think they will again. I feel
give him a year.
I feel confident that again, 2023, that he is the guy that can turn that program. And again, he did it with Jackson State. That was an immediate overnight turnaround. Again, with the talent that he brought in. That again,
lower level.
But I still think in theory you can still do it here in the FBS. Just again, I think it's just his namesake alone is able to do that, to get those recruits in, to make this team relevant, and again, make it a national conversation piece, not just in the Pac-12, but again, across the FBS level, without a doubt. Again, I say early prediction right now for the CSU, or at least CU Buffs, and again, I don't know why I keep on saying CSU, but CU Buffs, I think, and I feel pretty confident to say, they'll be in the Pac-12 championship game. Will they win it? I still lean that I feel confident that this could happen in 2023. And I feel confident that this team could have, 10-plus wins and could be on the outside looking into the college football playoff. That I think it could be an immediate turnaround, that this program becomes immediate relevant in 2023.
Well, again, you got the sight set high. I don't. Again, there are some very established programs that they've got to climb over. And again,
I think CU, again, we talk about how down and out the Pac-12 is. I think CU, they can, though. They can climb over a Washington. They can climb over an Oregon. They could climb over Washington State, Cal, both Arizona teams. USC, UCLA. Again, I can't remember if they're moving on to the Big Ten next season or if that's 2024. But either way, if they move on, hey, that's even better for CU. But this is that chance for Coach Prime, for the Buffaloes. This is it. Where again, we talk about Power 5, we talk about the Pac-12. It's a conference that, it's taken a couple steps back from where it's been over, again, here in the 2000 era.
All right, let me just give you a little bit of the testers that they have next year, okay? So they've got the Horned Frogs.
All right. Horned Frogs, who might lose a lot of talent.
That's in Fort Worth. They've got the Huskers. That will be at Boulder.
That's a rivalry game right there. So, and Nebraska has been pathetic. Nebraska, who knows what's going to happen again? They got a new head coach.
You got the Rams, so that one will be. I think that's at Boulder. You got the Sun Devils, which you should pencil that in as a win, even though that's in Tempe. They got the Wildcats at Boulder. Should win that one. I mean, again, just going by the way things are on the Pac. Oregon State, that's in Boulder. They got to go. They got a lot of home games next year. Holy cow! I'm just looking right here.
But even if you read off the non-conference, and again, we're at the top of the hour. We need to take our.
I know,
break,
but
again, Nebraska should beat them. Nebraska right now. That's a team that's still in rebuild.
TCU kind of. Go 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, they could lose that contest again. Like I said, for CU, I don't immediately put them in national championship contender, but I think it's a team that's on the outside looking in next season. Where again, they might run into a couple losses. They might get shocked by again a TCU, whoever else that they face.
The schedules are favorable. Nebraska at home, Rams at home. They go to Tempe to take on the Sun Devils. They come home for the Wildcats. They come home or they stay at home for the Beavers. They got the Cardinal. They got Stanford at Boulder
And
next
Stanford
year.
is, again, far from removed of, again, notoriety for them.
Yeah, Stanford is down. So, again, you're catching some teams. You get the Trojans in Boulder. They got a hell of a schedule in Boulder next year.
As you read it, again,
gotta go to Oregon.
I feel more and more confident that this team is not rebuilding. They're going to reload, or at least they become an immediate powerhouse in the Pac-12.
See, they got to go to Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City after Oregon, and then they get Washington State and Pullman. So their last 3 are on the road. That
Winnable games.
There, 2 of them are
Winnable.
they're flip of the coins. Okay, one for
They should
sure.
be, again, Washington State at Pullman,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
the Utes. Let's not sell the Utes short. Year in, year out.
Like I
since
said,
they- since they've been
that
in the
might be
Pac-12.
that one surprise loss that no one was expecting. Again, Utah kind of does that. And there you go. Again, 2 losses of TCU to Utah. Again, we do not know right now. Again, we've seen early recruits and commits to this team, to this program. What's going to happen as we get past the bowl games, as again this ripples across the nation, that more and more of those 5-star, 4-star guys out there go, okay, well, I want to go play here. And again, that roster that starts to build up. And again, who knows what else he pulls from the transfer portal?
Well, and again, here I look at the schedule, and I'm giving them 7 wins right now. Okay, the last 3 games though are killers. They're on the road. You got to go to Eugene. You got to go to Salt Lake City, and then you're wrapping up on the road as well too. So again, at Pullman.
Not a worry against the Cougars, though.
Yeah, but again, it's colder. It's a colder environment up there.
You're playing Boulder.
I understand, but I don't know. It depended on what kind of game. Because again, you got to remember, he's been in the South. You can throw a different game than you can when you go to Boulder. For about the first couple of months, you're okay. But like here at UW, everything gets colder, and it kind of throws off your game a little bit. But those last 3 road games just kind of concern me a little bit. All right, we are going to break. We'll come back. We got more of our Pro Show. I'm Larry Proietti, along with Nick Proietti. We're back after these words.
Treat your taste buds to a warm bagel at Mort's Bagels with your favorite cream cheese. Perfect for the office or perfect at home. Mort's Bagels are always made fresh and delicious daily. They are perfect for breakfast and lunch, too. Did I mention perfect? For 3 decades, Mort's has served us with amazing bagels and customer service. Ask about their specialty and seasonal selections, too. They even deliver. Mort's Bagels. Treat yourself today. 1815 Cary Avenue, downtown Cheyenne. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year is the sincere wish from John and his staff at Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. John would like to extend his gratitude to you for thinking of Cheyenne Auto Repair first for the care of your vehicle, also fixing those minor repairs that happen from time to time. Tune-ups, oil changes, shocks, brakes, and now it's time to get your car or truck ready for winter. Remember, one name stands out from all the rest. Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service at 604 West Lincoln Way. Happy holidays, and John looks forward to serving you again.
When you are dealing with the coin shop to buy, sell, or trade your gold, silver, or other precious metals, you will be met with honesty, fairness, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. The coin shop has been serving Cheyenne since 1982 and is a respected member of our community. Call David today at 778-7196 to meet privately or visit during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. The Coin Shop, a dealer you can trust, 510 West 16th Street.
Wyoming Food Bank of the Rockies is leaning in. We know this is a difficult time for many Wyoming families and that nobody should suffer due to a lack of food. If you or someone you know is in need of nutritious foods, go to our website at wyomingfoodbank.org and click on Get Help. We also need your help. Go to our website, click the Give tab, then Events to learn how you can help your community through volunteering and making a donation. You can play a role in fighting hunger and feeding hope. Please give today.
Do you need low-priced, quality health insurance for any reason right now? Then call myhealthinsurance.com today. We specialize in helping American workers find affordable health insurance. You can save money on dental, vision, prescription drugs, too. Our message is simple. If you want affordable health insurance for you and your family, even if you have a medical condition, call right now. Is right now the best time for you to start looking for affordable health insurance? We have hundreds of plans to choose from. With one free phone call, you can learn about an affordable health insurance plan that fits your budget. Don't wait. It's a free call. Call now.
800-915-5014. 800-915-5014. 800-915-5014. That's 800-915-5014.
MyHealthInsurance.com is owned and operated by IHC Specialty Benefits, a licensed insurance agency. We are not an insurance plan or provider. Not all plans are available in all areas. You may be contacted by an insurance agent.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Well, the wise for today, sunshine and breezy. Expected daytime high near 40 degrees. Partly cloudy for tonight, low down to 20. Mostly sunny again for tomorrow. We're calling for a daytime high near 40. And for Wednesday night, a mostly cloudy night, a low down to 20 degrees.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Right now on 1480 K-Ray, it's time for the Pro Show, featuring the only father and son sports talk show talking about the local sports scene as we take a look back and look ahead to upcoming events around our area. The Pro Show is on now, right here on 1480 K-Ray. Hour number 2 of the Pro Show. We'll get back to football here on the pro side in a little bit, but I want to go back to the collegiate side, basketball, UW.
Yeah.
And again, too, in Jeff Linder's, correct me if I'm wrong, third year.
Yeah.
Things have not gone smoothly, even though they were in the conversation, especially after last year's performance with the Cowboys getting an invite to try to play into the NCAA tournament. But you sit here and you look at the beginning of the season, which, again, I do not care. Unless you are one of those top 25 year in, year out programs, UCLA, North Carolina. No. You're going to get into the tournament by winning the Mountain West Conference.
Which I don't think the Cowboys can right now. I don't think I right now is nothing is showing to me that this team is going to win the Mountain West Conference tournament. And again, you say, hey, I don't care what happens here in November, December. If the Cowboys are unable to make that deep run in the conference tournament to get to that title game, or at least not win that conference championship, to be that team that's again on the bubble looking in, you care about this non-conference schedule where right now it's been ugly.
All right.
And again, it's going to ding Wyoming. Again, we'll put in that example where, say if they make it to that Mountain West Conference Championship game and lose, again, they don't have that automatic bid. That committee that selects is going to look to this non-conference schedule and go, what the hell happened?
Well,
here?
and again, too, here's where I'm not panicking with the Cowboys yet. I wasn't shocked they lost to Santa Clara in Salt Lake City. I wasn't shocked because, again, with Gonzaga, St. Mary's, Santa Clara, those are the top three. Come on, let's be real. In that West Coast Conference.
Again, of your 3 teams of the best in the West Coast Conference, I wouldn't even consider Santa Clara. Again, you vault BYU as well to above them. That, again, Santa Clara is not in the conversation. Again, when is the last time Santa Clara has been in the in a WCC championship game opposing Gonzaga?
Well, they got to get past St. Mary's, and that's
exactly.
The deal. But here's the deal: I don't really throw a lot of stock into it. And again, we're sitting here. This team still needs to gel. It still needs to get healthy. Losing to Grand Canyon, that one kind of concerns me.
Again, kind of, but Grand Canyon has been developing into, again, a consistent, good,
but it was at home.
But again, Grand Canyon is kind of developing into a good and consistent WAC team. Again, Grand Canyon, who again, that conference, at least that campus out there in Phoenix is, again, around $1 billion or something. Again, it's something ridiculous that they have. They have a lot of money out there to invest into their recruits and invest into their players. So, Grand Canyon, yes. Should Wyoming have won that game? Yes. But is it surprising that they lost to Grand Canyon? Yeah, not highly in my opinion.
Here's the deal, Nick. Over the next 2 weeks, beginning tonight, 4 consecutive home games. Texas A&M Commerce, La Tech, Dayton, and St. Mary's. Again, who I put number 2 behind Gonzaga. They have to be healthy by the time they get to St. Mary's.
You have a shot, and again, even if you were healthy for the Wyoming Cowboys, you have a shot of winning maybe 2 of those games. And again, it should be at least with the Texas A&M Commerce game. But again,
and La Tech.
Yeah, La Tech maybe, but again, Dayton, who is an NCAA tournament a team that appears from time to time.
But you beat them at home.
Yeah, but again, don't overlook the Flyers. And again, same with St. Mary's. They are really talented
Well,
out
and
of
again,
the,
this is
the
what I'm
West Coast
saying.
Conference.
For this 4-game homestand, Cowboys got to do no less than 3-1.
I think at best right now for the Cowboys, they're going to split. They're going to go 2-2 to round out as we head into conference play at the end of the month. I think plain and simple, again, especially the way the Cowboys are playing right now, and again, you look at the various online sites that right now reevaluated or restructured the Mountain West Conference, or again, power rankings, Wyoming's dead last. Just how they've been playing here in the non-conference and just some of the shocks that they've run into. Again, they should beat Texas A&M Commerce. Minimum. They should just boat race that team, at least.
You would hope.
La Tech, you pause, but yes, you go, should beat them. Dayton, I give the nod to Dayton. I think Dayton's just a better program, even if they have to come out here. Should win. Or at least I do believe that game also, too, is a neutral site. And then same with St. Mary's. I do believe that's a neutral as well to round out, again, non-conference schedule. But either way, though, again, against Dayton and against St. Mary's, I don't think the Cowboys win that contest. So, again, I see it as we head into conference play. They should wrap up, again, that 4-game stretch 2-2.
Well, and the thing, too, and Jeff Linder not going through the sophomore phase, in his third year with the Cowboys, it seems like
it's injury bug,
but it's also non-performances that are killing them. Again,
yeah,
you're
expecting big names to come up with.
You got Hunter Thompson, your leading board getter, with 5 boards a game.
That's not going to get it done.
Hunter Maldonado is your leading scorer, 14.3 points a game,
which he should be. But Maldonado's had some kind of question mark games.
Yeah, where he banged his head on the floor. So again, this team is, and I'll use the word banged up. I'm not making excuses for them, but I'm just saying these next 4 home games in the AA, this will be kind of a tale of what way the season will go, because these 4 games should get them healthy. Texas A&M Commerce, not really, but La Tech, Dayton,
it'll build some
and
confidence into.
I know, but again, La Tech, Dayton, St. Mary's, those are the teams you got to beat if you want to be relevant.
If you want quality wins to, again, help that bubble watch for the Wyoming Cowboys, if they want to go back to the NCAA tournament, yeah, without a doubt, these next 4 games, you toss out the Texas A&M Commerce contest, but again, against La Tech, who you should beat, Dayton and St. Mary's, those are your quality wins. To scrap how terrible this non-conference has been already.
Mountain West Conference.
But I'm just saying, again, to help you bolster that those eyeballs, again, for that tournament board to at least select you, that selection committee, to kind of move you into that NCAA tournament, these are the teams you need to beat, without a doubt, to get those quality wins. And I think it would help Wyoming, if they're going to be a bubble team this year, which, again, they're on pace, or at least they're kind of slipping a little bit backwards away from that. Again, more looking to, again, the NIT, or at least focusing on some of those lesser-in tournaments. But you got to beat St. Mary's. You got to beat Dayton. Again, 2 teams that have been in that NCAA tournament of recent, who have had, again, successful programs over the past couple seasons. You got to get those wins, and I think those are the victories that, again, help ignore what has been a rough non-conference.
And again, too, St. Mary's is what, ESPN Plus and CBS Sports Network for the Dayton game. So, again, you're spotlighted. And like I said, this 4-game stretch over 2 weeks is very critical, where I hope they get 3 out of 4, because that leads you into Fresno State and New Mexico towards the end of the month. And then you get San Diego State after the new year, and you will get them in the AA. So, again, it's not like the Cowboys are going to have a real easy go of it coming out of the box.
Yeah.
They've got 3 hitters. They got 3 hitters in the conference. So that's why I'm saying
they
got to get healthy against La Tech, Dayton, and St. Mary's.
Which hopefully they will. But, again, I think they get healthy against La Tech. But St. Mary's, Dayton, just going to be a little bit tough for this team to get over at this point in time. Again, those games, again, I do stand, at least I should be correct on that. Again, our neutral side for Dayton and St. Mary's. Again, neither of those teams come here, or Cowboys don't go there.
They're technically considered home teams.
But either way, again, we will see how they wrap up, which, again, right now, non-conference has been just purely forgettable. That this team, who was expected to be in the top 25, who was anticipated to, again, be at the forefront of the Mountain West Conference, to win a Mountain West Conference championship, to be back in the NCAA tournament, day by day, loss by loss, you kind of step back and go, is this the team who we thought they were? And right now, it seems far from it, that this is a powerhouse team as we thought last year, carrying it over to this season. So it is what it is.
It's not a good right now. What we're seeing, and again, let's throw out some of the injuries, but we're not seeing the mesh between the older players and the newer mixes to the equation, and that's what's you could see that.
Yeah,
that the Cowboys right now just are out of sync. Hence, that's why I say, and you mentioned the neutral location, but I'm just saying, for the Cowboys being that home team, these games, this four game stretch over 2 weeks is very critical to this program.
We'll move away from at least NCAA basketball very quickly. Want to at least move on down to JUCO basketball with LCCC. Give them a nod, especially on the LCCC women's side. Again, Coach Mack, who we were hoping to have last week on, instead she was on a recruiting trip. Again, we'll hopefully get her at some point in time in the new year here on the Pro Show. But LCCC, Lady Golden Eagles right now on a 6-game winning streak, tying the longest mark in program history. I should add to that coming up this weekend, as they'll have CSU Club and the Colorado Ballers. Again, those kind of, those assembled teams that, again, usually get beat up on by LCCC. So, again, that win streak should continue on this weekend here in town. But, again, 10-3, the mark right now for LCCC on the women's side for Coach Mack. So, again,
20's within the grasp.
Yeah, so, again, we've seen for LCCC on the women's side that, non-conference is usually their strongest out of the box, that we see these this team in program pass have those strong starts, but it's once we get into the conference, once we get past Christmas break, what is this team going to be made of? And we've seen that. Again, whether it was Coach Ortmeyer, where now it's with Coach Mack. Again, go back to last season, we had a good strong, at least LCCC had a good out-of-the-box strong get-go with non-conference. Once you get, or at least, preseason here in Region 9. But, once you got into Region 9 North play, it became a whole different story where LCCC struggled. It was kind of, again, past that Christmas break, you saw fatigue, you saw the injuries kind of pick up, the bugs pick up. That LCCC just kind of slowed down that momentum. So, again, that's kind of the curious thing right now is the MO of winning here in preseason is still here with Coach Mack, if not even better. But what are they going to be like, again, post-Christmas break?
Well, and again, aside from Western, which I think still has some rebuild to do under Mike Swenson, but the point is,
Western, who also, too, did get the victory and again, this was in Scottsbluff against LCCC, but it was a close contest. I do believe LCCC had a couple leads in that game at a point.
My point is, though, and I throw them out of the mix, and I think CWC, since they're under new direction this year as well, you got Northwest, you got Casper, you got Eastern, and LCCC. There's 5 teams right there. This North, I don't want to use the word bloodbath, but let's be real honest. It's going to be tough. And again, no, I don't see any team right now walking away undefeated in the North.
No, there's not a favorite, but again, LCCC, again, as they're playing right now, 10-3. As of now, again, 2 games upcoming this weekend here in town. But for LCCC on the women's side, again, this is an important season, again, for Coach Mack and company, where they have a shot to host the Region 9 tournament if they are the number 1 team coming out of the North. Again, as we're seeing this LCCC team, and I go back to, again, a couple weeks ago, as they were out in Scottsbluff taking on Lady Cougars, again, Western Nebraska, who has been the best team in Region 9 for how many years? Again, obviously that was under head coach Chad Gibney, who is no longer with the program, has moved on from there. But right now, the main focus for Coach Mack, and we've talked with that, at least with her about it, is main focus is to host this Region 9 championship, to bring these teams here to Cheyenne, which, again, they have that possibility. And I think, again, as we're seeing right now, that LCCC against Eastern, against Casper, will toss out a Northwest. I don't think CWC, I don't think Western Wyoming's really a concern. But, again, for some of these, at least for those other programs, LCCC is going to be competitive in those games, and I think could pull off a few victories. I think LCCC, again, no one's a clear favorite, or if there was, it would be Casper. But LCCC could be that team that controls their destiny of being that number 1 seed and hosting a Region 9 tournament on the women's side.
Yeah, and the key is, and we've talked with those coaches for years and years, you're expected to win at home, but you get those points by winning on the road. And that's just it. We've seen LCCC, especially the Lady Golden Eagles, win at Northwest.
Yeah.
They've won at Riverton. They've won at Western. Got to get stronger at Eastern.
You got to win at Casper. That's the main thing as well, too.
And again, too, let's be real honest. Coach Canary over there at Casper, year in, year out, throws out 5 kids, and they're pretty doggone good. He goes to his bench. He's got 5 more kids that are pretty doggone good as well, too. So, again, they have been the flag bearer of the North. Eastern has kind of
– and I still think they are.
And Eastern has rubbed elbows a little bit. LCCC has been making great strides. And I think last year under Coach Mack, they made a tremendous stride getting into that second round, that semifinal round. And you look at the talent that she has assembled. These are most her kids, and right now they are a pretty solid unit, and they can beat you in many different ways. But what I like about LCCC,
size and height is going to be an issue.
But they are a good transition team. Man,
they're quick
fly.
pace.
They can fly.
Yeah, without a doubt. The key factor as well, too, before, as we're talking Christmas break, of what this LCCC team on the women's side is going to be made of. Again, they got one more test. Again, we talk about the CSU, at least club team, the Colorado Ballers. Again, those are teams that, LCCC should wipe the floor with.
Definitely
again, we've seen 100-point victories by LCCC in the past against these teams. So, again, you should mark up immediately that those are 2 victories coming up this weekend for LCCC. The true test is Tuesday the 13th, right before the break. Western Nebraska comes here to town. Yeah. And, again, there was only a 10-point loss on the road for LCCC. Can they pull off the upset victory against the Lady Cougars and Story Gymnasium? I think so.
And I don't want to say this. I'd never want – because, again, all coaches will never dismiss a team coming in. But you and I have covered that for a long time. 50-point wins usually are in the offing. A lot of these teams, barely have 7, 8 suited up.
Yeah.
But the point is, I don't want to use this as a glorified scrimmage, but these are games where you can fix. Because, again, you're looking at film and you still got, some difficulties. These are the games that you can work on fixing some of those problems where you can put it all together against Western Nebraska. Because you definitely have to have the wheel turning forward by the time the Lady Cougars come to town.
And give you at least an insight. Again, Western Nebraska, of years past under Coach Gibney, has been a top 5 team, again, in the polls, at least the nationwide polls, not in the top 25 this season. So give you an understanding of where the Lady Cougars are. Yeah, they are very down compared to years past. The only team that's right now in the top 25 representing Region 9, who do you think? It's Casper. Casper right now is the number 13 team. They are, as of right now, again, this is as of Monday, they are 10-1, number 13 ranked in the nation. So, again, Lady Thunderbirds, if you're going to pick a power or a team that is at the top who is favored, it's the Lady Thunderbirds.
And you look at what they had coming back after we did that game last year, and it was like, they've got height.
They got size.
Yeah, they've got height. They've got speed. They got outside shooting. They've got all of the offensive particulars that you need. Yeah. So, and again, defensively, they're not a bad outfit as well either.
Moving over to the men's side very quickly for Coach Salisbury right now, 6-4 for the Golden Eagles on the mark right now. Had a very competitive game. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but competitive on the road at College Southern Idaho. The Eagles, they are number 5 at the time, nationally ranked team. That game went into overtime. So, again, LCCC competed against a top 25 program, almost upsetting them, push that game to overtime. But, again, gas kind of ran out of the take. It was a final 103-95, so LCCC picks up that loss. Team that right now LCCC just can't figure out is North Platte, is the Knights. That, again, they have lost twice at home and on the road recently to North Platte. North Platte, as I told you again early on when I saw that team here in Story Gym, that's a team that keep an eye out there in the Region 9
They
South.
were young last year. And, again, this is a veteran team. So, again, this is a veteran team of size. This is a veteran team that can push the ball down the floor. And we saw a little bit of that last year, but we saw them, I don't want to say out of sorts, but they just didn't have the feel for each other. Well, a lot of these guys are back. And again, now they're working a little bit more cohesively.
Yeah.
And Biscuits are falling into the basket.
And North Platte is nothing too different compared to LCCC. Again, they got height, they got size, but I think it was more so what I saw in that lone contest at home against North Platte was they got speed. They were fire feisty and very quick bunch that got up and down and scored against LCCC. So, again, LCCC went 0 for 2 this season against North Platte. So, that is 2 of their losses. The other loss on the road against College Southern Idaho, loss on the road at Air Force Prep, which, again, I think for LCCC, again, 6-4 right now, respectable losses for that team. Again, teams that were going to be tough to beat. Again, Air Force Prep, we know the Huskies are very tough year in and year out. They are one of the, at least – within that conference that they play in, again, one of the best. And again, they beat up a lot of Region 9 teams, so give them credit. North Platte, we knew they were going to be better this year. They're proving it so far. The men right now do have a bit of a gauntlet before they take their Christmas break at Northeastern Junior College. Taking on Lamar, that'll also too be in Sterling, Colorado. That'll be this weekend at home.
It's
against
been a while since they've taken on the Lopes, too.
Yeah, it's been quite at least
about 3 years,
a couple
4
seasons.
years. Yeah.
Home against Western Nebraska, and then wrapping up on the 15th, home against Otero College. So, again, tough customers to round out, at least to put them into Christmas break. And again, same to the women, same with the men. How do the men come out of Christmas break? How will they respond? How will they, and excuse me, actually, I'm getting flip-flopped as well, too. Men this year will host the Region 9, at least the Region 9 North champion will host the tournament up in their region. Women will be down in South. That's
because
correct.
we
were in Casper, yeah.
Now, you go back to the 2 road games, and I to me, and again, Western Nebraska at home and Otero at home, I don't pencil them in as wins, but you must win. You must win those at home. But going on the road, and again, we saw Lamar last year at Air Force Prep.
They're good.
You want to talk about a team.
They beat the Huskies.
And you want to talk about a team that picks them up and puts them down. They are a flying outfit. So that's going to be a tough one.
And it's a neutral side as well, too, as I mentioned. That's
and at NJC, we've seen our struggles. We've struggled there. We've come back, and then we kind of run out of gas.
Yeah.
So, again, I think those are the most critical games right there.
Outside for LCCC, the only team that they'll see once again is Western Nebraska, which again they played on the road and Scottsbluff won in overtime against the Cougars, 85-79. But again, for Northeastern, for again Lamar, for Otero, they have not seen him at all this season. They'll see him for the first time. And again, the benefit is again for those at least new faces, again neutral site and at home. So
yeah, and again, like I said, I think again. The home games are always important at Story, but I think winning on the road, and I know Coach Salisbury would agree with me on that. You got to get those wins on the road, and again,
they're gonna have to do it coming out of the Christmas break and looking ahead to their schedule very quickly. At Otero College, that is January 6th, January 9th at Salt Lake Community College. Again, they are a top 25 team on the men's side, and then at Trinidad State, who looked pretty impressive, did lose at home here. Against LCCC at Story Gym, but they look like a pretty strong outfit. Again, Trinidad State, your Region 9 champions from last season.
Yeah, but I think
winning.
your dog this year is North Platte.
Yeah, I think
I think they're the dog. All right, well, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back, talk a little pro stuff, and we'll be back right after this here on 1480 KRA.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. It's your one-stop to shop for these Super Radio buys heard only right here. Jose Cuervo Especial Tequila. Gold or silver, 750 milliliter bottle, $16.49. Bud Light Seltzers, all available varieties. 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, $15.99. And Mike's Hard Beverages, all available varieties. 12-pack, 12-ounce bottles or cans, $16.49. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
As your life changes, so do your banking needs. At Platte Valley Bank, we offer a wide range of services for your individual banking needs, as well as solutions to help your business be successful. No matter how simple or complicated your financial needs, we have the products, knowledge, and resources to help you achieve financial success. Experience the difference. You belong here.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, it's Lee at Absolute Flooring. The holidays are arriving quickly. With guests set to arrive soon, it's time to gift yourself with new flooring. No matter what type of flooring you would like, Absolute Flooring has what you're looking for in a price to suit your needs. With the best selection of styles and colors available, we can help whether it's one room or a whole house. Why not make this your best season ever by visiting Absolute Flooring at 3573 East Lincoln Way and at AbsoluteFlooringWYO.com. Remember, it's always your home, your floor, your store. Absolutely.
Whatever the adventure, the new 2022 Kia Sorento can help you get there. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne. Let us show you the impressive value of a new Kia. The 2022 Kia Sorento will provide all-weather performance with available all-wheel drive, a turbo engine, ample seating and cargo space, and one of the best warranties in the business. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Each July, you'll find the superstars of rodeo at Cheyenne Frontier Days. 9 days of championship PRCA rodeo and 2 nights of PBR bull riding team competition. The world's top cowboys and cowgirls, bucking broncs and toughest bulls. Grab your hat, pull on your boots, and join in the Cowboys' favorite rodeo. It's the world's largest outdoor rodeo and Western celebration. Tickets on sale now at CFDrodeo.com. We'll see you in Cheyenne.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Well, the wise for today's sunshine and breezy. Expect the daytime high near 40 degrees. Partly cloudy for tonight, low down to 20. Mostly sunny again for tomorrow. We're calling for a daytime high near 40. And for Wednesday night, a mostly cloudy night, a low down to 20 degrees. All right, winter meetings in Major League Baseball, and then we'll get back to pro football. Let's see. Let's throw out the names that we already know that are inked. Justin Verlander will go to the Mets, 2 years, $86 million, and a third-year option. Jacob deGrom, who was 1 game over 500 with the Mets.
Oft injured.
And he will now do his pitching for the Texas Rangers. 5-year deal. $186 million.
Rangers obviously looking to win now and win big. And DeGrom, a big name, but again, oft injured. So we'll see again, as you were surprised, again, we've known this for a couple months now, that Bruce Bochy, manager, again, winning nature with the San Francisco Giants, winning 3 titles there. Again, Texas Rangers have proven that they want to win in the AL West. They want to get back in the playoffs immediately. And again, with some of these big moves, they're kind of pushing their way.
You
there.
think it goes after Dave Righetti to come in and be the pitching coach?
Who knows at this point in time? But again, we know DeGrom's moving on. We know Verlander, again, the unanimous Cy Young, or at least I think it was 1 vote away from unanimous Cy Young winner. But either way, again, a proven pitcher that can get it done for the Mets. So they bolster that bullpen in a big way. We know Trey Turner moving on, again, joining the Phils. He at least signed a big contract. And then
with Bryce now, they're reunited again.
Yeah, reunited there in Philadelphia. So that is a big move there for the Phillies. Right now, the guy that still stands in, again, has been the topic of conversation, who's been floating out there. He's got 2 offers right now on the board, has been Aaron Judge, $300 million from the Yankees. Giants upped it, and again, Giants stated that as we were heading into the end of the regular season that it's going to be whatever it takes to get Aaron Judge. They are going to throw every bit of money and, again, be that top bidder. And so far, they went above $360 million to offer to Aaron Judge. Again, Aaron Judge has to make that decision. But right now, Giants are going all in to bring this guy in. So We'll see. We'll see what happens. Brandon Nimmo, still a Met for now. He's been tough to join ever.
I think he will be a Met. The Mets like him. New York likes Brandon Nimmo. And he's such an inspiration that the Mets don't want to lose him. And again, you just brought in a great pitcher.
As much as Brandon, I think a lot of fans up here would love to see him in the black and purple. But again, it's been tossed out. That rumor still keeps true that, again, he could come out to Denver. But I think that for that guy, again, his career is going to come to die if he comes to Denver.
Yeah, and again, too, look at the Mets. They're committed to win. Even though Verlander's aging, and they lost to Grom.
Obviously, with Verlander, that is, hey, we want to win now.
Yeah,
because he's only got so many years left, especially after coming off the Tommy.
He's
Tommy John,
6 years old.
I think he's 40 or
somewhere.
But either way, he's an aging vet right now. He's only got a few years left in the tank. Mets have committed at least picking up Joseph Verlander, saying, "Hey, we want to win now."
And you watch the Mets are going to be spending some more money because they've got the money to spend.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we were talking about here on baseball. Hall of Fame, Veterans Committee, or this would be not so much the Veterans Committee, but a new committee of former sports writers.
Something like that. It's some weird assembly.
It's a mixture of a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a Heinz 57. Fred Crime Dog McGriff, I have no problems with him getting the nod. Bonds actually did worse with this group.
Yeah.
And Clemens did worse with this group. And I'm trying to think who was the number 2 cat on there. That I think we'll definitely get it next year. It'll come to me here in a bit. But
either way, again, Bonds, who again still is the biggest snub out of the Hall of Fame. Again, think of what you want about him.
They're not going to get in.
And again, obviously, with a lot of these writers already having the predisposed hatred against him, or again, he was not friendly to the media. He's not going to garner those votes. But again, it's still a crime that again this guy is not
him,
made it.
Schilling and Clemens.
Yeah.
You stick a fork in them. They're not going to ever get in.
And that's why again, I think for the MLB Hall of Fame, it becomes year after year right now a joke. Yeah, give respect to at least McGriff getting in, and I think he deserved it. Larry Walker, again, what we saw a couple seasons, again, last year or again, what was it, 2 years ago, again, getting the nod. Did Larry Walker really deserve to be a Hall of Famer? Not really.
No.
Like I said, I think the MLB Hall of Fame, as much as, again, would love to go to Cooperstown, love to walk those hallowed halls, as we deal with this situation with the steroid era, especially with the home run king, can't deny it. Again, he is the guy that is everyone's vying for to get over that home run mark. Again, MLB still acknowledges that mark. He is still not in the Hall of Fame. It becomes, like I said, year after year as we stall out these guys to prevent them from getting in the Hall of Fame, it becomes that much more of a joke.
As long as Pete Rose is excluded from the Hall, Barry Bonds has no shot. Again, you look at the votes.
Which again, I think for Pete Rose's sake, as well, again, complete joke that he's not in.
Well, and again, too, here's McGriff, who, and again, I think Todd Helton has better numbers than McGriff, average-wise. But again, he's got the Coors Field stigma. He doesn't have as many home runs as McGriff. But again, you look at McGriff, who finished second? Don Mattingly. Donnie Baseball in New York. Did Mattingly have all those great numbers? No. He was a consistent, good first baseman.
If Mattingly makes it into the Hall of Fame, it wouldn't be so much what he did on the field. It'd be more so as a manager.
And what has he done? He hasn't got a World Series ring.
Yeah.
So, the thing is,
again, the committees, whether it is current baseball writers or, again, whatever, again, these committees that they try to toss up there, or, again, make this Hall of Fame selection process a complete joke.
Yeah, as Bonds is.
Again, look to online, look to again a lot of the talking heads as well too, and outside of just us. Again, a lot of people are just saying, "Hey, put these guys in already." Again, it's been long enough. We get it. They were in the steroid era. We get it that they did this thing. Every baseball player at that point in time was doing it. You got to address that era and recognize that was a part of your baseball history. It still goes on today. We still have players today violating the PED usage. So again, acknowledge it. Realize that again in Barry Bonds' case, and again, I'll say it until the day I die for the guy again who I grew up and I loved. Again, guy who was, I guess, quote unquote, kind of that sports hero of mine. It took a lot of talent. Yes, he might have done the steroids, which again was not proven, but again, it takes a lot of talent to hit that baseball and do what he did. For again the many years that he was, whether it was for the Pirates or the Giants.
Until a steroid guy gets in, and let's just use Bonds, until he opens the door. Guys like A-Rod, they're never going to be in the conversation.
But A-Rod, that's a tough one, and I think we talked about this in years past.
600 home runs.
But I'm just saying, A-Rod though was again with him being in media as well too. Again, as you see him with Fox MLB Baseball, that I think being friendly to the media, being at least amongst his peers.
In the past.
But I'm just saying, now he's kind of prettying up that image, and again, being a part of that brotherhood, so to speak, I think helps him get kind of in. Does A-Rod deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I would say
he
so.
Has the numbers to back it up.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Like I said,
You're sitting there with Clemens, who has the numbers.
Bonds,
You're sitting there
clearly.
with Bonds, clearly with the numbers. Schilling,
yeah,
I'm kind of so. I'm more.
I think
I'm so
him winning the
Schilling and
championship,
Mattingly.
him winning the championships in Arizona again with Boston, I think does enough.
See, with Schilling and Mattingly, I put Helton in that grouping right there.
Helton's on the outside looking in. I put him in the same conversation as Larry Walker, where again I thought they deserve votes, but I don't think he'd make it in. Again, for Todd Helton, I don't think he's going to have to wait until that Veterans Committee or whatever they decide on.
More than likely.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait until then. I don't think he gets that.
Here was the first test for Bonds and Clemens and Schilling. Failed.
Yeah, and again, it just continues this selection committee. Again, what are various committees at this point in time continue to make this Hall of Fame process a joke?
Well, and I'm sorry, and I'll put myself in that category of old farts. Till these old farts die off.
You even got young writers right now that are still against it. Again, it's not majority, but you still have some writers that are trying to keep it pure.
But the O-line is. Hey,
oh yeah, they're
cheated.
heavy.
They cheated. And, same thing goes to Rose. Hey, you gambled. No, forget it. That's everything that's bad about baseball that these guys did. They're going to hold the line on it. And again, you coming in as the new writer, for example, you coming in and getting that vote, you're going to be a little more, and I dare use the word liberal, but you're going to be more forgiving. You're going to look at, hey, look at these numbers. These numbers back it up.
I wouldn't say forgiving, but it's more so of, again, address the history. It was a part of baseball. Again, it was an era. It was something that
look what they did
not
for
a
the
select
game.
few people did. It was majority of your players did.
And what these guys did during that time, the bad, the McGuires and Sosas and Rafael Palmeiro, you can go right down the list. But what they did for the game, though, they brought people back.
They brought eyes in. Again, those home run races were the biggest thing talked about.
They brought television numbers. They brought radio numbers. They brought people back to the ballpark. So, again, they did cheat, but, they all have asterisks by their name anyway. So, maybe, and again, I've almost said that too. And I make this not so much a joke. You got the Hall of Fame. Build the asterisk Hall of Fame across the street, or put a special wing into the Hall of Fame saying these guys are Hall of Fame members. However, this is what took them so long
and
to
that
get
should
into
be
the hall.
easy enough to do. And again, I think that committee is scared. I think, again, also too with Rob Manfred at the helm, again, as he's proven right now to be one of the worst sports commissioners, and I think one of the worst baseball commissioners. That again, it's not going to happen at any point in time, and it's a disservice. It's something where, again, you're ignoring your past, you're ignoring your history, where, again, that history, yes, as much as it might be tainted, and I think we can all agree upon that, but it's something that you have to address. It is something that, at that time, baseball was the biggest thing. When McGuire was taking on Sosa for the single-season home run record, that was huge. When Bonds broke it, that was huge. When Bonds broke, again, all those sorts of records and became the home run king, it was the story.
And here's the deal, too, about Bonds. You look at all the home runs he hit, and that season he hit 70-plus. How many times was he walked? How many times did pitchers refuse to pitch to him?
Yeah.
So, that shows, the respect. Whether he was, again, obviously everybody believes he was. So, if he was on the juice.
And a court of lie, he wasn't proven, but yeah.
But if he was on the juice and he hit over 70 home runs, but most pitchers did not want to pitch to him. Look at how many walks he had during that time that he was with the Giants. And that's total bases, Nick. Let's go with total bases. This guy was on base. His on-base percentage was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Ruth never had those kind of numbers. Aaron never had those kind of numbers. Mays never had those kind of numbers. And again, too, I think, like I said,
it's definitely
a shame.
It's a situation where, again, these baseball writers have their heads just kind of stuck in the sand. That, again, they have their opinion and not going to change it. Where, again, you have voices outside of them saying, again, whether it's fans, whether it is former players. Again, we've even looked to, again, some of the greats of, again, Willie Mays. Willie Mays has basically said, yeah, Bonds deserves. Get him in already. You have former players, you have current players, you have, again, all these voices outside saying, yes, these guys deserve to get in. Do it already. Why are we held up by these riders that hold these vendettas?
They're holier
It feels
than
like they
thou.
hold vendettas. Yeah, without a doubt. It has that power trip feel.
All right, we got to take one last break. We'll get a chance to wrap it up with pro football right after these words right here in 1480 K-Ray.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-413-7619. 800-413-7619. 800-413-7619. That's 800-413-7619.
Hop into the K-Ray Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 K-Ray, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480kray.com.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from family owned and operated Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. Remember, Capital Lumber Company always invites you in to shop for the do-it-yourselfer on your holiday shopping list. From tools, paint, hardware, and so much more, it's Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Are you 60 plus and love to travel? Introducing the Senior Travel Discount Network, brought to you by Low Cost Airlines. Call us anytime, day or night, and save up to 75% on your airline and hotel reservations. We can help you save a ton of money to fly almost anywhere. We have inside discounts on over 500 airlines and 500,000 hotels worldwide. And when you call and mention the discount code 60 plus, we'll give you an extra free night with your qualified air and hotel reservation. Now you can get the best prices on air and hotel reservations with your phone. We make it easy and fast for you to save money and book a trip. Remember, call the Senior Travel Discount Network, mention the discount code 60 plus for your free hotel night with your qualified reservation. Call now.
800-510-7126. 800-510-7126. 800-510-7126. That's 800-510-7126.
Ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-368-1307. 800-368-1307. 800-368-1307. That's 800-368-1307.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Well, the wise for today's sunshine and breezy. Expect the daytime high near 40 degrees. Partly cloudy for tonight, low down to 20. Mostly sunny again for tomorrow. We're calling for a daytime high near 40. And for Wednesday night, a mostly cloudy night, a low down to 20 degrees. Well, the Houston Texans may have the worst record in the National Football League, but the Denver Broncos doing their very best to join the Texans. And again, too, as we've mentioned with the Wyoming Cowboys, the defense has been right there for the Broncos. I mean, you know, Jackson, they got Jackson out of the game.
Yeah, Jackson, who I do believe is out for 1 to 3 weeks with an injury, but
again,
held the Ravens to 10 points, which is impressive.
In Baltimore,
which again we didn't think they were going to beat the Ravens, which again they didn't. But again, it doesn't help when you put up your offense only 9 points.
And again, and then you expect McManus to win the game for you with a 62-yard field goal.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you are getting field goals, that means you're getting inside the red zone, for the most part.
For the most part.
But again, here's this offensive mind of Nathaniel Hackett, and it's just not there. Now, whether he does not have that good relationship, and again, that good mojo, I should say, with Russell Wilson, or Russell Wilson does not have good mojo with his offense, I don't know. I can't even put my finger on it anymore. I've kind of just thrown up the white flag.
Yeah.
But the one thing that is going to be consistent, you got Wilson in for a few years. Hackett, he's expendable.
How Hackett has made it this far as being the head coach, where, again, we've already seen firings happen across the NFL. We've seen GMs get let go. I do believe the Titans let go of their GM today. That how Hackett is hanging on, I do not understand how he is hanging on by a thread. It's surprising. If he is still the head coach past postseason play as we head into 2023, what the hell is going on in that front office, or at least with the Waltons, of why are you hanging on to this guy? He's proven that he's not good.
I think right now, and you can't do it, but the feeler is out there for Harbaugh. I think the feeler is out there for Harbaugh.
And why wouldn't you get rid of the guy now? Because obviously, again, if you hang on to him again, you might have
pay him. You still have to pay him. He's probably signed a contract.
But to, again, tank your team and to lower those ticket sales for the few remaining home games there at Mile High, I mean, why? Why?
But the funny thing is, they're not going to lose any money because of the NFL package, and the Broncos are still going to come out making money.
But either way, again, Broncos losing another one didn't surprise me. It's pretty much now for the Broncos of, do you just tank to try and get a top 5 pick at this point? I think they should.
No.
I think it'd be smart. You might as well just give up.
The schedule pretty much says it all. They're going to get clobbered.
And they should, without a doubt. So, again, it's pretty much just, a tank in effect right now for the Denver Broncos. Again, they won't get that number 1 pick.
Is there
just due to the fact that, again,
is there one win in that schedule, Nick?
Probably
maybe. That's all.
Doubtful. Either way, though, again, outside of the Broncos, who again are just they're bad. We know about it. They're going to be a top 5 pick. That
this
pretty
is
much
the
season's done.
All my years.
Yeah.
And again, I go back even into the 60s, Nick, when I used to watch Bronco Raider games with from the Oakland Coliseum back in the day. And I sit here, and this is under Lou Saban, when Lou Saban was the head coach of the Broncos that I recall. And then they brought in the guy from Stanford, Johnny Ralston. Then you had Red Miller in here. This has got to be the worst offensive output that I've seen in almost, we're talking 60 years now.
Like I said, the Broncos are very similar to the Wyoming Cowboys. Defense is strong without a doubt. Offense is beyond pathetic. And again, to not win that contest, again, where you held the Ravens, again, who do have a potent offense, so only 10 points, you normally should win ball games like that. But again, you only put up 9 Peasley points. Again, chalk up another loss for the Denver Broncos. But again, moving on from that program, that franchise that is just in disarray and has been.
Let me just say this though: they match up with the Chiefs.
Not going to win.
These are at home too, by the way.
Not going to win.
I know, just for argument's sake, they're at home. They get the Cardinals.
Not going to win.
They go to SoFi to take on the Rams.
Not going to win.
No, they'll beat the Rams.
No.
I think the Rams right now are the only team they can beat. Then they go to Kansas City.
Not going to win.
And then they wrap up at home against the Chargers.
Not
I think
win.
1-4.
But anyways, moving on to other notes. At least we'll get into at least with the 49ers, what happened in this past weekend. I do want to mention the Carolina Panthers because, again, it does go on topic with the 49ers that Baker Mayfield released, again, put on waivers by the Panthers, where right now few teams are looking for QBs, and one being the 49ers, who lost Jimmy G for the season.
Shanahan says no.
He is done. Well, again, we'll get into the Baker Mayfield. It sounds like the 49ers are not going to, or at least according to Shanahan, it was news to him if they were going to pick up.
They picked up Josh Johnson off the Broncos taxi squad.
Okay, that's one backup for Brock Purdy, but again, you need someone at least just in case.
A veteran.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, there is that Baker Mayfield option right now for the 49ers.
And remember, Mayfield comes free. because the Panthers are paying the rest of his salary.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to use the word free, but what I'm saying is you're getting a veteran talent who knows the NFL. Does he pick up the 49er playbook rather quickly? Yeah, he could. But
he's got weapons, and I think that's what benefits,
and
or at least
mobile.
Yeah, he's mobile as well too. We'll see what the 49ers do again. Brock Purdy, though, give him credit coming in reserve again. Mr. Irrelevant. He is a rookie quarterback. Shocked. He looked pretty good against the Miami Dolphins, who again, Dolphins are a pretty solid team this year in the AFC East. Got it done in a big way again, where Jimmy G, same with Trey Lance, are out for the remainder of the year. So it's Brock Purdy right now, his offense to kind of direct. And again, he looked, at least if he's going to be the guy for the future for the 49ers, who again, this team still right now number 3 seed in the NFC playoffs, still expected to be in that Super Bowl game. If it's going to be the guy, I saw impressive things this past Sunday against Miami.
Well, and then also, too, you got Tampa coming in, and New Orleans found out last night running was tough. So, and Tampa, boy, they escaped with that win. And credit to Tom Brady. He's cool, calm, and collected. But, you look at this game, and this is at Santa Clara, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. The 49ers are healthy, and except at the quarterback position. But, again, you've got McCaffrey at the running back spot. You got Kittle that's back out there. You got Deebo Samuel. Somehow, some way, and that offensive line with Trent Williams being back now too makes a hell of a lot of difference. I don't see Purdy being sacked like Brady was last night.
Yeah.
Purdy has some mobility to get out of the pocket. I'm sure they are going to do some more rollout patterns with Purdy. I don't think you're going to see a lot of downfield shots.
Yeah.
But I think the 49ers right now, and again, too, you're going to
Is it desperation mode right now with Brock Purdy at the helm? Not really. Again, he showed impressive things. They definitely need someone to fill the void, or at least someone outside of Johnson for a backup to Purdy, or if not, an alternative. And again, Baker Mayfield has been tossed out.
And
again,
he's a steal.
Tom Brady has also been tossed out as coming to the 49ers if he were to opt out of Tampa, which again, I that's not going to happen. But again, we'll see how the 49ers address the QB issue on top of that. But again, moving outside of San Francisco, NFC East, again, still dominant, even though, again, NFL, I think we're at a point in time, and I saw the first tie this year between Texans and the Colts. We had another tie between Giants and the Commanders, which, again, still has a lot on the line. Both of those teams vying for playoff spots. But I think we're at a point for the NFL, for Goodell, get rid of these ties. What are they doing?
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the old ties in the 60s and 70s. I'm sorry. I love the high school, and I love the college way of breaking ties. Put them at the 25-yard line, and again, worst case scenario, you get a field goal. Worst case scenario, because, again, most NFL teams have great kickers.
First team to get that touchdown wins.
That's
Plain
it.
and simple.
Yeah,
How hard is that to implement in the NFL? I think absolutely it's ridiculous that it's in there. It's not in there, and again, we find a way in overtime to end in ties.
You've done
again. Look to again any other with MLB. Look to basketball. Look to NHL.
Yeah. But we've done everything in our power to make that the no fun league. Can't hit the quarterback. Can't do this. Can't do that.
Yeah.
But overtime is just part of the no fun league.
Yeah.
And I think if you went to that college scenario, and I don't care if you put them on the 30-yard line, for gosh sakes, I don't care. The point is, the no fun league, and again, you know how I feel about Goodell. I think he's a moron as well.
Yeah, he's terrible.
This overtime, and again, too, you score a touchdown, you win. You get a field goal, the other team has a chance to score. I mean, it's like you might as well implement the college overtime. I think that's one of the best overtimes. And again, it finally does get a decision, doesn't it?
Very quickly, again, the only other surprise of part of the NFL weekend that was, again, Bengals getting the win, albeit it was at home against Kansas City. So Bengals starting to get a little healthy. Same with the Raiders. Las Vegas, at least extending their winning streak, taking down the Chargers. So, again, Las Vegas trying to get back into relevancy after their kind of slow start to begin the year. So, again, keep out for the Raiders. But outside of that, pretty much this weekend went pretty to Hoyle of, again, Minnesota, Philly, Green Bay winning.
Is Minnesota that good? I mean, right now, if you look at the standings and you've got
Match them up with the Eagles. I don't think they beat the Eagles. Match them up with the 49ers. That might be a battle, but I'd give the benefit of the doubt, again, albeit being a Niners fan, but again, I think the weapons and the defense as well, I give the edge to the 49ers.
So right now, if we look at the playoffs.
And again, all three of those teams that I mentioned are getting top 3 seeds right now in the playoffs.
And Tampa's the 4th seed, and they would be home against Dallas. And that's even funnier the way this goes back to when Seattle was 7-9 years ago, and they won the NFC West. But again, the NFC North, aside from Minnesota, is down. The NFC South is absolutely horrid this year. The NFC West is fair.
49ers are
Rams
leading.
are really bringing down the scale.
Yeah, 49ers are the only team that's kind of helping that division without a doubt. And again, the NFC East we know is phenomenal, especially with what the Cowboys are doing with the Eagles, and again bringing up the rear. But again, having at least success is in Washington, and same with New York.
And it's kind of funny too, because of those 4 teams, they probably are all deserving to get in somehow, some way. But it doesn't work that way. You'll probably have 3 teams representing the NFC East.
Especially with the expansion of playoffs, again, over the past couple seasons. So, again, the benefit of those teams in that division, to at least have not just one representative, but, again, a few handful, especially with the success that division is happening. So,
all right, don't forget, on the 30th of December, it will be the Cowboys in the Arizona Bowl against Ohio University. What is it, the
Barstool Arizona Bowl?
Yeah, who cares? It's in Tucson, and no national TV, and deservedly so, because that bowl sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
Either way, more importantly, before December 30th, the 15th, 16th, 17th, we'll be back with high school basketball again, as it'll be our lone contest, at least for the non-conference, for Cheyenne Central.
It's a doubleheader, though, right?
Well, yeah, boys and girls, but again, we'll have it on the 15th, 16th, and 17th. We know as of now, again, it's tournament style, part of that Greeley round ball tournament that Cheyenne Central will take on Greeley Central. Those games, again, I do believe at 6 and 7:30, girls up first, boys up second, live from Greeley Central High School down there in Colorado. We will have that contest, those contests here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRay.com on the audio side, and video live streaming as we do on the 1480KRay YouTube channel. Again, that will be our only basketball here in 2022, at least the tail end, and then we'll at least hit the ground running in 2023. Again, our schedule has been posted online, whether it is 1480K-Ray's Facebook page, the Pro Show's Facebook page, over on my Twitter at ProMan56NP, and also too on the 1480K-Ray website. So again, to find out what games we'll have broadcast this season for high school basketball, go tune into our various social media sites or again our website. We appreciate that. So again, for us, we'll have high school basketball coming up next weekend, the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th. Regarding K-Ray reports and the Pro Show, this is it for 2022. Again, we will take that Christmas break hiatus, got to retool a few things and prepare for, again, bigger and better things coming up in 2023. We will return with both programs coming up again right after the 1st of January. Again, I do believe January 2nd is that Monday in 2023. So we'll be back, K-Ray Reports and the Pro Show here on 1480 K-Ray.
That wraps things up. I'm Larry Proietti for Nick Proietti, the Pro Show right here in 1480.